Coming up, we're going to take a look at the future of work and then a new survey on bad bosses. Plus, we take your calls and a little bonus feature you don't want to miss. More coming up on that in just a bit. Let's go. All right, welcome to the Ken Coleman Show, coming to you live from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville. This is where we help you win at work and in life. The days of keeping these lives separate, and they need to be over. I want you to win at work and life. I want you to make a bunch of money and experience meaning. Let's go. Let's talk about the future of work. What's it look like? Well, I mean, Alex, the producer, wouldn't like it. I could summarize the segment and move on. It's anybody's guess. I mean, there's one answer, but we're going to kind of look at this and go, okay, let's see what, people who study this, people who are paying attention to it, what do the trends look like? We've talked about some of this on the show, but let's dive a little deeper here. So is there a really, really different future at work? Or is it going to just be a variation of where we are now? And I mean now, right now, 2022, coming out of a pandemic where it changed the landscape of work. I'm going to show you some trends from an article from Forbes magazine entitled Future of Work, the 5 biggest workplace trends of 2022. Okay, so the first one is hybrid working. If you don't know what this means, this would be a combination of remote work and working in the office. So there's no one size fits all here. You got some companies that might say you spend 75% working remote and 25% in the office. There's, again, no rule of thumb. There is no one set formula. And companies are, they're still experimenting with this. And so the hybrid model is certainly something that is new. It's here to stay for a while until I think leaders and workers get to a point where we go, all right, this is what we're doing. Some people have already said, there's a line in the sand. I'm never going back in. Okay, well, it's not totally your call. Unless you want to go work for yourself, it's not totally your call. Let's put it that way. So the hybrid approach, okay? Some outside the office are remote, some in, figure out which way that goes. Next is the artificially intelligent augmented workforce. So AI technology is already here. Some of you thinking iRobot and Will Smith. It doesn't have to be that intense. I mean, if you think, now you go into fast food restaurants, anywhere in the country, there is a form of artificial intelligence that's going on. And so what is going to happen, I don't think you're ever going to see humans replaced. Certainly not in human functions. We'll warn that in a second. But what is happening is that workers are expected to augment, or in other words, it's a fancy word, right? To learn basic skills in interacting with artificial intelligence. I don't think this is scary. This doesn't scare me. I'm anti-robot replacing humans as it relates to human functions. Functions that don't require a human, go for it all day long. But I will admit, just an aside, I will admit I'm a little scared of the robots. Just a little bit. How can you not watch iRobot and not be a little scared? I don't know if you've seen like these military robots, like these dogs, and some of these actual military robots. Listen, folks, yikes. I digress. So, AI, artificial intelligence, is going to be primarily used to automate repetitive elements of day-to-day duties that allow workers to focus on other areas that require more human touch. Creativity, imagination, high-level strategy, emotional intelligence are examples. So that's the good news. Okay, next. So just keeping score here, 5 big future trends, okay? First was hybrid working. Second, the artificial intelligence augmentation. Third is staffing for resilience. So post-pandemic, companies were like, whoa, we were hiring all about skill, skill, skill. And then the pandemic hit and it changed everything. And we couldn't afford some of the skill. Some of the skill left us. And we had to have people who were utility players. So, give you an example here. So, I'm going to use a sports analogy. If you've never played sports or watched sports, you can understand this. So, there is a term in baseball called the utility player. And this is a player who can play first base, third base, second base, right field. Point is, they're not specialized. They're talented enough and experienced enough to play multiple positions on the field. So there's tremendous value in utility players. Every Major League Baseball team's got one. Okay? Well, this is the idea here. When we hear phrases like staffing for resilience, companies are going, look, I could have a bunch of specialized people, but if you know what hits the fan, I need people who can cover 5 or 6 different positions. And so I think you're going to see people build in the overlap, right? So I need Joe to do 5 things. I can't have Joe just do one thing, right? This is the idea, all right? Next, less focus on roles, more focus on skills. All right, so now we were just talking about how we're going to not focus on skills and resilience. However, I mean, there's different trends here. This is focusing on filling a role. So it really is a play off of this idea of being much more resilient as an organization. By focusing on skills, businesses address the fact that solving problems and answering their core business. I'm sorry, I said that backwards, folks. It's more focus on roles. Less focus on roles, more focus on skills. So instead of you're coming in and you're filling this title of chief analytic officer or whatever, it's like, okay, here are the skill sets, and we're really not hung up on title and roles, because if we're building resilience, we must also build transferable skills. So I'm sorry, I confused you guys because I said it backwards, going too fast. So it's like, watch them get away from titles and roles and org charts, and they're just going to go, look, we need this combination of skills to be able to translate to a lot of different areas of the business. So listen, skills. They're going to train you on the job. That's the other thing. Some of you hearing this, you're going, oh my gosh, how do I get all these skills? I think we need to relax on that. I think companies are going to go, I need a good quality person. I'm going to bring in Sarah. Okay. And Sarah's got all the raw talent. But we need Sarah to have these 5 skills, of which we know how to train her for, and we will train her. So I don't think it's going to be this unbelievable burden on the worker of the future to get trained. I think companies are going to train themselves. I think that's smart. If I'm a company going forward, leaders, I'm going to tell you something right now. I would get in the business of being able to develop and train your own folks, your own talent. Let's see, did I get them all? And one more, employee monitoring and analytics. Oh, let me tell you why I hate this. This is going to be Big Brother. They're going to be spying on people. That's a bad trend. I don't think it's going to work. It's going to go up in flames. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
You were created to fill a unique role in and through your work. Now, some of you may be going, I have no idea what that is. Some of you may be saying, I know what I want to do, but I don't know how to get there. I felt all of those emotions. I've been where you are, and I can tell you, there's hope. That's why I wrote the book, From Paycheck to Purpose. You can make the income you want and the impact that you desire, and I know that you have what it takes.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you win at work so that you can also win at life. 844-747-2577 is the phone number. Let's go to Aaron, who joins us in Dallas, Texas. Aaron, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how are you doing?
I'm living the dream, Aaron. What's going on with you?
Recently I was very unexpectedly let go from my position.
Oh man,
It was
I'm
it
sorry.
was something. Thanks. It was something that a position that working in an area that I always thought I wanted to be in.
Which is what?
So without getting too specific, I was working in professional sports.
Okay.
Excuse me. It was support staff. I was working with coaches and helping them with kind of like IT stuff, but not really IT. It was more of a working with specific software
Gotcha.
that we use for film analysis and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So very niche market.
And that's something that you had desired and you went after and got it.
Well, I mean, getting to the professional level like I did, that was always what I wanted to do. And so I got there. I was there a year and a half, and about a week and a half ago, I was pulled aside and told it was my last day.
Okay. So you wanted to be in professional sports, but not particularly that role, but that role got you in the door.
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So why'd they let you go? What are you willing to share? What can you share? What do you know?
It was maybe a 5-minute conversation. My immediate supervisor just kind of pulled me aside and said that I'd been doing a great job, but it wasn't to his standards. And so it was my last day.
You've been doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Those are exact words?
Yes.
But not to his standards.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, I'm going to let you go.
Yes. And then I come to find out less than 24 hours later, our intern, who his internship was set to expire, was already moved into my position.
Oh, okay. So what are your feelings and thoughts on that narrative? Before I get in and try to help you out, I want to know what you're thinking and feeling on that whole situation.
Yeah. Obviously, at first a lot of shock and confused and, angry, but I'm trying not to let the anger part of it. I mean, if that's, the way they want to operate the department that I was in, that's up to them. And I guess if that's how they feel, then I don't really want to be
wait a second.
part of that.
Yeah, but do you believe him? It makes no sense to me. You're doing a great job, but not up to my standards. I'm letting you go. And then 24 hours later, we've got the intern slid into your position. It's not adding up.
That's exactly why I was so confused and had really nothing to say when it happened.
Yeah, well, you were lied to. You were lied to, and there were no signs, and you'd never gotten called up for anything, correct?
No. So to that, we twice this past year we were pulled aside, every single one of us, and did a performance review with my supervisor, and I was always told, "Hey, you're doing a great job. I just want to see you be more proactive, get more involved." And so I would do that. Next time it was, "Yep, you did more. That's great. Let's keep pushing the envelope. Do more." And then, I was pulled aside and told that it just wasn't enough. And he said, quote, "I'm not going into detail."
Right, because there's no detail to give. This is a horrible boss.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you were lied to. So there's trauma. Let's just own the fact that you were lied to. And we're not going to ever get a good answer. And quite frankly, we don't need an answer. When somebody lies, that's all I need to know. So how can I help you? What'd you call for today?
I'm just kind of struggling with, over the past few months, I didn't really know if this is what I wanted to continue doing. To be honest, I never saw myself making it this far doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
I fell into it in college.
Yeah. But you wanted to be in pro sports. Why'd you want to be in pro sports?
That's, just always was the draw to me. Is always what I've, always wanted to be around sports. I was always in sports growing up. And,
right. So you were in it.
Connected with my family. Yeah.
So you were in it, and you knew that the position that you were in wasn't the position. So what did you start to wonder about? You had to have looked around, right? You had some idea.
Yeah.
What'd you think about? What would have been, or what would you like to try?
The one thing people always mention to me was, how much time I spent with our weight staff or strength staff at various places I've been, and spending time in the weight room.
So you want to do what? Tell me.
I mean, I'd like to get into strength and conditioning.
Yeah, what's keeping you from getting into strength and conditioning?
I think my background, because I mean, people I've talked to, they either grew up either some level of college athletics, which I didn't. They had the the educational background of exercise science or something along those lines. I don't.
Yeah, how old are you?
27, almost 28.
Is it possible for you to go get that training if you really, really wanted it?
I mean, I guess I could go back and get a master's. I mean, there's also like strength and conditioning certifications. I mean,
I don't think you need
required.
I don't think you need a master's, but let's say, okay, you always wanted to work on the professional sports level. You got there so you could get back. True or false?
True.
Come on, man. You know how hard it is to get in? You got in. I want to make sure that first of all, you were lied to, and that hurts. But I want to make sure that you throw your shoulders back far enough today. You could get back in with another pro sports organization given what you've done. True or false?
True.
All right, great. Now let's keep moving. You don't necessarily have to work for a pro sports team. As long as you were doing strength and conditioning on some level, you would probably consider that to be work you were passionate about and was missional for you. True or false?
True.
Great. So this is the moment. You were kicked out of the nest. You want to do strength and conditioning work. If we can get in and get in the professional level, great. But guess what? You're not going to entry level that anyway. So if we go get certified, not a master's degree, at least initially, and you go get in that field and you start working, you start doing great, you start leveraging relationships, and you figure out, well, I could go on as an assistant strength and conditioning coach, and if I did that for 7 to 8 years, would I be willing to wait that long to get a shot at the professional level? Or what about a D1 level in NCAA? So I think you have to go, what is it that I want to do? And you've already told us. I think you want to be in strength and conditioning, right?
Right.
You want to be around athletes, right?
Right.
Where are all the places you can do that? That's your homework assignment.
Okay.
Let's just make a list. And then we go, okay, what are the qualifications, baseline qualifications to get it there? All right. Now, you got a good resume. You got some relationships that you've stacked up. True or false?
True.
All right, then. So you can make some connections while you're getting qualified. Say, hey, I'm looking to get into this side of things. You know?
Mm-hmm.
What's left? What are you feeling right now?
I mean, I guess I'm just still kind of confused as to, with all my connections and everything. I've got people making calls for me, trying to help me get, other jobs. And everyone is, I've got multiple colleges, D1 schools that are interested in hiring me at, doing what I currently do and was let go from. And I'm just kind of...
Do that. Go get the gig and get qualified on the side. Because you're still in sports. These are sports-related jobs, yes?
Yes.
Bro, you sound like Eeyore. What's missing right now? Dude, this is awesome news is what I'm saying. You got D1 sports programs that want to hire you. I'd take the best one and then go get the strength and conditioning certification while you're getting paid by them and you're in the building. You could transition from what you're currently doing, the kind of work you're doing now, more of a technology job, into a strength and conditioning role. Do you see that possibility?
Yeah, I can see it.
Aaron, get excited, buddy. Can I hear a smile? Dude, you're already halfway there. I want you to take the best job afforded to you right now by the end of this week. Then make the transition. Don't go anywhere. In the news coming up next.
Do you know what you were born to do? In order to get hired at a job you love, you need to get clear on your talent, passion, and mission. That's why our team created the Career Clarity Guide. In just a few minutes, this free tool will walk you through a process to discover what you do best, talent, the work you love to do, passion, and the results you want your work to produce. That's mission. Then you're going to feel way more confident throughout the job search process. To get started, go now to kencoleman.com/clarity.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. We're helping you get unstuck and then get on purpose so that you can make the money you desire and experience the meaning that you long for in the workplace. That's going to help you win at work and at life. 844-747-2577 is the number to jump in. More of your calls coming up. There's been a lot of buzz lately about Phil from ZipRecruiter. And I'm hearing a lot of thank you Phils going around. Here's what some people are saying. Elisa M. said, Phil, you're amazing. You gave me the confidence I needed to land an awesome job. Thank you. That Phil sounds like someone you want in your corner, especially for an easier job search. What job will Phil help you discover? Find out at ZipRecruiter.com. That's ZipRecruiter.com. I got to meet this Phil guy. And, this guy, Phil, he sounds like a really great guy. Sounds like Phil is the Mr. Proximity Principal to me. So there you go. All right. This is a great story with so much practical usage. Let's get to it in the news. All right, this article comes to us from The Hustle. I guess this is an online magazine or magazine. You never know these days. And I remember seeing this. I don't know how this came to me, but I remember seeing this and sending this on to Alex, the producer. I said, we got to use this. So The Hustle, they got a headline, mean micromanaging bosses are ineffective and outdated. Duh. So what they said to their readers, they said, have you ever quit a job over a bad boss? That was the question. And they received 278 responses. Now, that may not sound like a lot to you, but trust me, in today's world, online, you throw something out like that, 278 people respond, they hit a nerve. So they gathered all these. And I have to hold this out a little bit. This print is really small. My 47-year-old eyes need to extend this, or else I'm going to have Nathan come in and read this off the paper. Jeez Louise. Here we go. 76%. These are top reasons for quitting a job. 76% said demeaning comments from their boss. 59% said micromanagement. 58% said no work-life balance. 57% said poor communication. 54% overly demanding. And everything else was below the 50%. So if you look at this, demeaning comments, the big winner. Micromanagement, no work-life balance, poor communication, overly demanding. And my guess is if you were to interview all these people that responded, probably all 5 of those in one leader. A leader who's overly demanding, doesn't communicate well, so you have no work-life balance, and then on top of that, they micromanage the crap out of you and make you feel less than when you don't deliver what they want, and they didn't communicate what they want. So I'll get into this in a second. I can read a couple more really funny things here that are sad. Well, where does this come from? I'm going to get to that in a second. Like, if there's so many bad leaders, why is it such a problem? I'll get to that. I'll take a stab at that one. It's a big problem, but I have some thoughts. But first, there were a couple more stories that came in on the survey, and I wanted to read 3 of these. One said, the COO was my boss. Now, understand, when you hear COO, this is a big enough of a business, where they've got a corner suite, right? The chief operating officer was my boss. This moron, listen to this. He brought baby food jars and pacifiers into meetings once because we were all babies. So this is next level passive aggression. So like, you feel like they're whining, they're being babies. Instead of addressing that like in some sort of, hey, guys, what's going on? What are you feeling? Why are you feeling this way? Like, let's just do a deep dive. This guy thought it would be fun to stop by the grocery store on the way to the office and get some pacifiers and baby food. Can you imagine? You're a serious adult and you come in and the leader does this nonsense? Like what? So here's the only question I have for this idiot leader. It's like, what were you hoping was the response? Like, what were you hoping they were going to do? They were all going to go, oh, man, you got us. We are acting like babies. So sorry, dear leader. I'm going to toughen up. Here's my point. I don't understand what you hope to accomplish with that nonsense. Here's another one. Now, this is next level. All right, the one I just mentioned is bad. This is next level. My boss would camp out by my car after work and ask me to come back in and talk. Anybody else feeling the creepometer going off there? I'm not sure that's micromanaging or creep stuff. Either way, it's just bad. Can you imagine? It's the end of the day. Alex, you're walking to the car. And I'm leaning on your car when you get there. Hey, what's up, Alex? Let's go back into the office. We got to talk for a second. What? Golly, man. Let me tell you something. Here's why you don't do that one to me. I'm jumpy. I am one jumpy guy. Jeremy Breland will tell you. He's guy surprised. He jumps out behind corners with me all the time. Let me tell you something. That's how you get your nose broken. I come out to my car, especially in the wintertime, and it's dark, Nathan, and you pop up around the corner. Now, the good news is I don't know how to fight, nor do I know any kind of jiu-jitsu, but you might catch a briefcase right upside the ear. Watch me freak out. All right, last one. Oh, this is the worst. I was given a no call, no show for the day of my mother's funeral. Can we talk about the level of stupidity of this leader? I could go many ways. Did you not know? You didn't know their mother died? That's on you. You knew and you forgot. That's on you. Or you knew and you still did it because she didn't show. What is she supposed to do? Oh my gosh. All right, so a little bit of fun to call out bad leaders. A couple minutes on where does it come from? Because horrible leadership is a problem throughout the world. This is not an American office thing. I mean, horrible leadership is so bad that The Office was created in Britain, right? And then it becomes a smash hit in the United States. I wonder if they've got an Office edition for every country in the world, because they could. Why was that show so popular beyond being funny? It was so popular because it hit a nerve with everybody. Michael Scott became the rallying cry for everybody that has to work with some sort of clueless, dolt leader who's all about themselves and has no sense of reality at all. So how is it that these people keep getting leadership positions? I mean, how many of you are watching and listening right now and you're going, I've wondered the same thing, Ken. Like, how is it that these people actually get where they are? Well, there's some self-serving promotions going on, right? A lot of butt kissing, right? A lot of inept leaders. And if you're inept and you're not good at leadership, it's a good chance you'll promote somebody who's not good at it either. So it's not some big conspiracy. Let's stop giving these people credit. This is all a function of trickle-down leadership. It's just horrible leadership and it trickles down. Sometimes it's like a waterfall down. So if you got leaders who are unaware of how bad they are, they don't know what's good, what's not. And then here's the other thing. Some people are just a product of their environment, just like our kids are. Our kids act like we act, talk like we talk. And so some leaders only know bad leadership. So when they get to a leadership position, all they do is crap on everybody else too. Because they go, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing what they always did to me. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for you people dealing with horrible bosses. All right, don't go anywhere. Coming up, more of your calls. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
We were drawn to Christian healthcare ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you win at work and in life. By the way, for our viewing audience, our bonus session today, bonus segment, Alex, the producer, has asked me to teach on what I learned when my foot went through my living room ceiling. I'm not even sure Joe has heard this story. Have you not heard this? So
no, but I'm waiting. I
will reveal the story, and I actually came equipped with 3 things that you can learn from my doofus move. That's bonus content. It's funny and it's practical. Stay tuned. I'm told we even have a picture. So there you go. But first, Biloxi, Mississippi is where we go. Melanie joins us. Melanie, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet. What's going on?
Well, I'm 5 months pregnant, and my question is, how do I transition from a job I hate to a career I'll love?
Oh, well, first of all, congratulations. Is this baby number 1, 2, 3? What do we got?
I have baby number 2, and it's my boy I've been wanting.
Oh, yay! That's awesome. So I'm a dad of boys and a girl, and I'm very happy you get both because they are unique in their own way, and I'm super excited for you. Okay.
Thank you.
So how do we transition from a job you hate to a job you love? First, we have to determine what would constitute a job you love. And then we're going to look at, well, what's our timeline? How does baby play into all of this? Okay, so I'll walk you through all that in the next few minutes. But let's quickly go to what would look like a job you love. I just believe you've wondered about that.
I have. It kept me up all night last night. And if I'm dreaming big,
good,
I would want to be the next Ellen DeGeneres with
Nice.
my own funny show, but helping real people and actually being able to connect and talk and influence the younger generations.
So is it broadcasting specifically, TV, radio, podcasting? Is there an element of I'd like to write and speak as well? What's all on the list?
I'd like to write. I think my strength is more writing, but definitely speaking, because I feel like the amount, I'm Native American, so I feel like it's fun to see people that have come from that sort of a background and history to,
Nice.
Kind of maybe reunite United States again. It's kind of odd, but
Interesting. Okay, so here's the thing. So don't look down your nose at the Ellen DeGeneres idea, because what that is that's kind of a very fun, imaginative, fantastical thing of like, I'm a public figure and I communicate, I broadcast for a living, and I make people's lives better. Those are really great clues. But what you just said is where I think you've got to dive deep. The writing and the speaking, what are the problems you want to address as a writer and as a speaker? Who are attached to those problems? What solutions are you jazzed about when it comes to addressing those problems? That's your homework assignment. And I don't think you have to have it today. And that's why I can tell you don't have it, but that's okay. Because you're going into this season of having a baby, so you're going to have some downtime from a work standpoint, correct?
Yes.
I think, listen, I mean, those long nights when you're feeding the baby and, the crazy, all the schedule, and I'd be thinking, what do I want to write about? What problem? Who are the people I want to write to? What problem do I want to solve? What do I want to speak to? If I was going to broadcast, what would I be broadcasting about? Why? You just keep rolling those questions around like a soundtrack. And I promise you, your heart is going to begin to reveal some answers. I think you already have some general ideas. And I would imagine and fantasize about what that would look like. And as you begin to do that, you're going to begin to see a pathway. Does that make sense? You'll be able to see, oh, well, here's how I would get there, and here's how I would do this. I think it's all about imagination right now until you can actually see steps forward. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay.
That's the key. So here's the deal. This will still be intimidating. This will still be scary until it gets super clear. It will not, the scariness goes away on some level, meaning you always have some fear about starting something new. But the bottom line is that you need to understand that when I get clear on my mountaintop or mountaintops, then I can come up with a path to climb those mountaintops. It is possible. So that's what I want you to do. Hang on the line. We're going to get you an assessment, the Get Clear Career Assessment link and a code for you to take it. And I want you to see what your purpose statement shares with you and what you would need to do after that. That's my gift to you. Don't move. More of your calls coming up. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
According to Glassdoor, the average job offer attracts over 250 applicants. So if you've made it to the interview, you've already made a great impression. So now is your time to showcase how you are the best choice for this role. That's why we created How to Win the Interview. This free guide will walk you through the 5 strategies to help you stand out amongst the competition. With just a little intentionality, you can prepare yourself to win the interview. To get it, go to kencoleman.com/interview.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you win at work and in life because we help you get clear. And when you're clear on what it is you want to do, why you want to do it, how you can do it, where are all the places to do it, guess what happens? The confidence just starts building. You step out, you step in, you step up, and before you know it, you're there, and life is really, really good. That's what we want to help you do. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Now, just a quick call out for our viewers. We got a bonus session coming up in about 10 minutes where I actually am going to tell the story how I recently stepped through the ceiling in my living room, lived to tell about it, and what I learned. It's funny and it's practical. You don't want to miss that. 844-747-2577. Let's go to Union County, New Jersey. Susan joins us there. Susan, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, how are you?
I'm lovely, Susan. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
I have a question. I work as a retail manager, and I had applied to a large company several years back, and I guess was passed on. And I'm wondering if it's ever appropriate to reapply and try again.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be?
Well, I had applied through LinkedIn, and I can see that it's the same recruiter, and I don't know if it's.
So you never
worth
had
trying
any
again.
kind of communication before? What was it like before? How many years ago was it?
It was about 3 years ago, maybe 3.5.
It's like ancient history.
Yeah, we had 2 phone interviews, and then after the second phone interview, I didn't hear back.
And it was with the recruiter both times?
Yes.
Is the
The same
recruiter is the recruiter actually on staff with the company, or is it an outside recruiter?
I'm pretty sure she's with the company. I think she exclusively recruits for them.
Okay, and she's still there. You verified she's still in that exact same position?
Yes, from her LinkedIn profile, I can see that she's still there.
Yeah, listen, I first of all, you absolutely should do it if you want it. Go for it. It's been 3.5 years. But I think this is an even better excuse to do it differently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to talk to that recruiter until that recruiter calls you this time. So I don't want you to apply traditionally right now. I want you to figure out, is this company close to you? Is this in your zip code close by? What are we talking about?
It's a nationwide company, so there are locations that are close to me.
Yeah. So the position that you want, is it also going to be local?
Yes.
How many people you know that work at that company?
I know one for sure. And she had coached me through the interviewing process the last time. I could probably reach out to her again.
Did you ever find out why you didn't get it? Did she give you any feedback?
I don't think my former coworker would know. I don't think she would know why. I know why. I know what I did wrong.
What'd you do wrong?
On the interview? I'm not good on phone interviews, and I think that I rambled maybe. And
does this recruiter work in the local office locally with you?
No.
Where does this recruiter work?
Probably in the Midwest.
Yeah. So here's the deal. Here's what I want you to do before you apply. I want you to spend a week or two, however long it takes, and you need to find more connections in that building than you actually have. I think you probably have more, but if it's still just one and it's that lady, I go back to her and I go, listen, I know what I did wrong. I'm not asking you to do anything crazy and coach me anymore, but I want to know who the hiring manager is. Ask her if she'll just supply you the information. She's not giving you corporate espionage. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But I want to know who the hiring manager is. And then I want to find out if you know anybody that knows the hiring manager. That's the little extra research that's worth doing. I don't even care if it's like an acquaintance that you haven't talked to in 5 years. You call them back up and go, hey, I'm trying to get in at this company before I apply. I just wondering how well you know this person. I've put it together that you guys know each other. Would you be willing to write an endorsement statement? How well do you know him? Would you write an endorsement quote for me? Would you reach out to him and tell him, hey, I think my friend, we've got a mutual relationship. I think my friend Susan's going to apply. I think she's a rock star. And let the recruiter find out about you this time. So you apply, but you find a way to get your, not resume, but to get your name in front of the hiring manager as somebody who would be a great fit. Coming from people that hiring manager knows personally. Do you see, now again, I'm not saying that's going to be possible. Sometimes it isn't, but it's worth trying. Do you see how that would set you apart?
Yes, I do.
Because
I absolutely do.
If not, you're going to go back into this thing going, well, listen, hey, you remember me from 3.5 years ago? This is what I did wrong on the phone call. That's not how we want to lead.
Right.
Nobody cares.
You're all right.
Nobody cares about your interview 3.5 years ago. You know what they care about? Finding the right person that'll help them win in that job. That's all they care about. I really want you to work your relationships and see if you can get 2 or 3 different people to send an email or leave a voicemail or to submit your resume manually while you submit it through the process. So there's your homework assignment. Good old-fashioned, this is good old-fashioned, what do they call these things? Scavenger hunts. Who's the hiring manager for the position you want? Find out. You've already got somebody in the building. This is not difficult.
Right. Okay.
Hey, Susan, you got to fight for it.
I know.
And you know how you win? You work these angles and people start hearing good things about you. This hiring manager hears good things about you. The recruiter, same, by the way, repeat everything I just said about the hiring manager for the recruiter. How many people do you know the recruiter? So this time, instead of you reaching back out on LinkedIn, you have 4 or 5 other people reach out to that person and go, hey, do you know about Susan? You want that recruiter going, oh, yeah, I remember her. Same strategy. Blow them away, Susan. Blow them away. You got this, don't you?
I do. Thank you so much for the advice. I really appreciate it. I was looking for a different way of looking at the situation.
You got this. Listen, this is good old-fashioned hustle and good old-fashioned relationship connection. Listen, folks, in a world of LinkedIn, in a world of artificial intelligence software where people are applying all the time, companies cannot keep up with the applications. There's no way that they can possibly see every great qualified candidate. You need to understand that. I've got a great resume template. It works. I hear stories every week of people going, Ken, my nephew, my uncle, my wife. She used your resume guide. She got noticed. Use the Ken Coleman resume guide. Use our templates at kencoleman.com. But don't rely solely on that. Relationships. People putting a good word in for you going, hey, let me tell you about Susan. She's a rock star. She applied 3 years ago, had a couple phone interviews. She said she didn't know how good she was on the phone, but let me tell you how I know Susan. For the last 3 years, she's done this, this, and this over here at XYZ. I got to tell you, I think it would be crazy not to interview her. Folks, it would be one thing if I was giving incredibly complex advice. I'm not. Simplify. Simplify. Simplify the job search. Here's where I want to be. I know why I want to be there. I got my 30-second. I got it. I can talk about it. It's clear. Now I need connections. Who do I know? Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep digging. Keep looking. Keep digging. The connections are there. And look, just get a great endorsement and blow these people away. They need to hear about you before they ever even see the official application. That's the strategy. It will work. I'm not saying it's going to work every time, but it will work eventually. So get after it. Start taking the power in your own hands. You got this. Hey, for our viewing audience, we will return in just a moment with a hilarious story of when my foot went through the ceiling and what I learned from it. For the rest of you out there, you matter. You have what it takes. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
Thanks for listening to the Ken Coleman Show. For more, you can find the show on demand wherever you listen to podcasts and watch the show on YouTube. You can also find Ken across all social media by following @Ken Coleman.
All right, folks, welcome back. Our viewers, we love you, we love you, we love you. This is our bonus session here, and I mean, I knew it was only a matter of time before I went public with this, so here we go. What I learned when my foot went through the ceiling. Story time, kids. So I have a 2-story house. About a month or so ago, in our living room to the left of the fireplace, my wife noticed a little bit of bubble, in the ceiling. So when you see a bubble, that's water. All right. And so we watched it, kind of got worse. You could see the drywall tape. It kind of bubbled up, hadn't cracked. I got up on the ladder, touched it, didn't feel wet, but clearly there was something going on. Well, so I went up to the attic, as one should do. I shouldn't. But it's generally what most guys should do. It's your house, after all. Be a man. So I went up there, and this particular area, it does not have flooring. So you've got your exposed beams. More on that later. So I get out there, and I'm walking very carefully. It's a good 20 feet, Joe, to the edge of the house, because that happened to be in the corner of the living room. And look, can't see any evidence. I could see where there had been a slight bit of mold on the drywall, so I'm looking, but I can't see anything. So it's one of these, is it a freak situation? It could be as simple as a nail coming through the shingle, through the roof, and water's getting in. You just don't know. So I go back down. I safely navigate, very focused, walking on the beams, and I make it back down. So what was it? 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. We were going to have some big snow, and we had some rain a couple days before, and I had gone back up there, did the same thing, and saw, sure enough, the good news is it's not a major leak. Simple fix. It's a nail. So I get the roofers out there. It's a simple fix. At the end of the day. Well, so 3 days later, we get this big snow warning. And I think, I don't want this to keep getting worse. I got some Flex Seal. I'm actually the idiot that bought that stuff from that guy who yells at you on the infomercial with the boat. I got to tell you, he's an absolute train wreck, all right? The guy's on cocaine. I don't know what he's doing. But I bought it. I was like, he sealed the boat. How do you not buy that? So I'm in Lowe's a long time ago, and I buy a can of the Flex Seal. All right, so fast forward, I go up, and the goal, folks, is to get out there. I now know where it is, and it's dry. It's been 2 days, so there's nothing dripping. Spray the Flex Seal on it. That's going to take care of it, and it just makes the problem less. So I get out there, and very careful. Saturday morning, this is 2 Saturdays ago. Get out there, spray it, look at it. Okay, I feel like it's going to do okay. Get back, start walking back on the beam. As I'm walking back, and again, folks, I want you to understand these beams are this wide. All right, I'm not a big man, but I mean, my foot's, you got to be careful.
It's a 2x4, standing straight up and down.
Thank you, Joe. And Joe has to help me with the technical terms because, he just knows. So anyway, I'm walking, and I'm probably about 8 feet from safety, Joe. And I realized that the can of Flex Seal, which is in my left hand, that I didn't put the cap on all the way. And it's kind of cockeyed. Now, folks, I'm not going to do anything other than tell you the absolute unadulterated truth. I don't know why. I will never know why. It mattered to me to move my right hand over and properly attach the lid. But as I did it, Joe, I didn't stop walking. I kept walking. Took the focus off of the 2x4, and in a moment, my left foot goes through
the drywall
into my living room. My left knee, side of my leg, there it is, folks, right through the ceiling. And thankfully, my kids, my wife, no one was in the living room, although nothing actually fell other than insulation, Joe. So it just kind of left hanging there. And so here I am. Now understand, folks, that my left knee and left leg went so to the side into the other 2x4, and I caught myself with my right hand, my thumb, by the way, still jammed. Hurts to do this right here. Caught myself here, and the leg goes through over there. So I catch all of my weight on my thumb, and then I kind of pull myself up, and then it hits me. Immediately, I'm so mad at myself, and then the pain. Now, Alex can vouch for this. I'm not going to show the picture publicly. I showed you the picture of my leg. It's unbelievable. 2 weeks later, you wouldn't even believe what my leg looks like. I didn't break anything, but here I am, hanging through, like my foot is this far into the living room, and Joe, I'm in so much pain, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get up. So long story, now even longer. I can't yell at my boys. I don't want them to try to come out and get me. I got to figure out a way to jack myself up and then turn my body sideways because I can't walk and shin me across, which I did. So here's the good news. Called my father-in-law, who's a general contractor. He's the guy that's got like drywall hanging around, and he was out there 30 minutes later. It was an easy fix. All he did was cut it out, measure a new piece, put it in, and my painter will come out and fix it. Now, but folks, I felt like a complete idiot. My 16-year-old boy walked down to help my father-in-law because I was in so much pain. My son Ty walked down, true story, looked up at the ceiling and looked at me and went, "Really?" And he didn't even make fun of me. He just said, "Really?" I'm that idiot. So, never a man to waste any good content. Here are 3 things I learned from my horrible mistake. Now, let me tell you something. This is a mistake. This was a mistake. I didn't mean to step off. I made a mistake, and so I'm going to teach on this. I took my eyes off of what I was doing, looked at the stupid cap, one misstep, boom, gone. And by the way, I'm lucky to be here because I have 12-foot ceilings, Joe. All right, here we go. 3 things. Number 1, I learned, Alex, that you have to plan to fail. When doing something like this is outside my comfort zone and outside my skill set, I should have planned to fail. What does that look like? You know what I should have done, Joe? I should have went to Lowe's or Home Depot and I could have got a 1/2-inch plywood, couple sheets for next to nothing, and then pushed them out on top of the beams and then walked all the way over and done a jig. That was so plan that you could fall through the ceiling. Had I done that, Alex, I would have bought the plywood and I wouldn't have a hole in my ceiling and in my leg. Plan to fail. In an area where you're outside of your comfort zone, plan to fail. What does failure look like? Hey, Ken, if you misstep, you could step through the ceiling, you moron, hurt yourself, cause irreparable damage to your body, and, whatever to the house. Number 2, you got to focus on the main thing. Focus on the main thing. Why in the world am I focused on the cap? The cap was on. The cap's not hurting anybody. Why does the cap have to be tight? I got 8 feet to safety. Focus on the main thing. Folks, all I should have done was like this. One step, one step, one step, one step, one step. Then I conceal the Flex Seal. Number 3 lesson. Could have been worse. After all of the embarrassment and self-anger and the pain and the expense, it could have been worse. I could have fallen straight through. Who knows what would have happened? So, stupid. Learn the first 2 things, and then you know what? Could have been worse. Thankfully, I didn't break a bone, and I didn't ruin my house. So, we have a reenactment? Okay, let's show this. Oh, geez. This is it. I am the real life Clark W. Griswold. Yeah. He's lucky too that the bunk bed was there. But this is it. I could have gone straight down. And thankfully I did not. So there it is, folks. Hope you learn from my mistake. Hey, you matter. You have what it takes. This is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.